to my computer. Okay, so we're on a Zoom call tonight. This is part of a challenge that I issued out. I just posted in our new team group. So we all have it. Everybody on this call is on somewhere on Jordan's team, of course, but on Steve and Gayle's team. We decided to name our team Team Unite because we are a united front and we're from everywhere. You know, Steve and I have had the blessing of sponsoring people from all over the country, Canada. I think we might have some customers in Australia, but you know, we're growing, and there's Miss Brittany joining us tonight. And Brittany, so a lot of us are realtors because that's what we tend to attract into our business because we are realtors. And when I created the Team Unite, I started to add customers and distributors in there from our back office. And then from there, I made a post and I said, if you want to learn how to make money with your SendOutCards account, type in the comments, and over 60 people typed in. That was really exciting for me because, you know, it's like, wow, that's awesome. Because not always do we have the opportunity to talk about the income side of things. When people joined, of course you joined as a distributor because there was some value that was shared that intrigued you, that prompted you to add the $50 distributor option. And what we're going to talk about tonight is how you can make money with your SendOutCards system. Some of you, I made notes, there's some that might join tonight that are still, you're still customers. You haven't added the distributor option yet. I think I counted like 5 or 6 people that set in to learning how to make money. And so, you know, I asked Jordan to join us on this call and just kind of help kick off and share some ideas. And I want to take a minute and introduce Jordan to you because he's kind of a big deal. And, you know, we're really blessed, lucky, blessed, whatever you want to say, to have Jordan on this call tonight, on the Zoom call, where we can, and I love Zoom because it's like, you know, we can see it's face to face, even though we're all in different parts of the world. Judy's in Hawaii, Linda's in Arizona, Elizabeth is in Texas, Valparaiso, Michigan, Canada, California, Michigan, Texas, Louisiana. I mean, there's people from literally all over the country on this call tonight, and we can be face to face and we can have a chat. So, you know, Jordan Adler, he's the #1 distributor in SendOutCards. And we're working directly together with Jordan. And Steve and I are really proud and happy to call him friends. And I've even had the opportunity to go up in a helicopter with Jordan. I trust him that much. He's also the author of a best-selling book called Beach Money. 100% of the money that's earned from this book goes to charity. They've sold over 500,000 copies, and it continues to sell about 5,000 copies a month, and it's only 8 years old. His story is amazing. In his first 11 network marketing companies, he didn't sign up a single person, and he never made any money. And then when he joined the 12th, he figured it out. He made a lot of money. Today, he travels all around the world, continuing to help us build our teams. He lives in the mountains of Arizona. Where are you today, Jordan?
I'm in Jerome, Arizona, up in the mining town by Sedona.
Okay, and so he splits his time from there to Mount Charleston to the Las Vegas Strip, and he likes to spend a lot of time on the beach. So he recently learned to fly helicopters for fun. How many of us do things for fun? Do you have the time freedom, the money freedom, so you can just decide you want to be a helicopter pilot for fun? He's licensed, and as I mentioned, he's taken me on a ride over the canyons, Red Rock Canyon, out to, what's that place called where all the colorful rocks are?
Seven Magic Mountains.
7 Magic Mountains. It was a phenomenal experience. And when I stopped to think about it, it's because, you know, Steve and I joined SendOutCards 10 years ago. We decided that we'd add the distributor option, and we've shared with people along the way, and we've made money and we've made friendships. And so, Jordan, just talk to us a little bit right now about, you know, what's on your heart, what's on your mind. I sent you over earlier the kind of a list of how we're going to run this challenge. Tell me your thoughts, because you've probably done these challenges before.
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts. How much time do I have, Gayle?
As much as you want.
Well, hi, everybody. And first of all, I just have to say I'm extremely proud of Gayle and Steve. You know, they took SendOutCards and applied it to building their real estate business. And the byproduct of that is they have other realtors around them and mortgage people and even some of their customers that have expressed interest in it. And they're building an amazing book of customers and distributors, which throws off a residual income. And, you know, I wrote a book called Beach Money, which is really about residual income. And what's interesting is that I don't believe there's a single person out there that doesn't want residual income. That's income that comes into your bank account month after month, whether you go to work or not. And I think just most people don't believe it's possible, but you know, there are a lot of people, millions of people in the United States alone that have a residual income, and some people have very large residual incomes. And one way you can create that is through a product, the product that we have that up and has a real value in the marketplace. So I want to tell you a couple quick stories, and then I'm going to share with you some thoughts regarding the 90-day challenge that may help. You may want to jot down a couple notes as I go through here. So the first thing is I want you to imagine if you owned 1,000 vending machines, which sounds pretty good. You know, 1,000 vending machines, each machine costs somewhere in the range of $2,000. A decent vending machine is in the range of $2,000. So if you owned 10 of those, that would be what, $20,000. If you owned 100 of them, that'd be $200,000. If you owned 1,000 of them, it'd be $2 million to buy 1,000 vending machines. Then you got to buy the product. You got to stock the product. You've got to collect the money. You've got to fix the machines if they break. And it sounds really great. And you could probably make some really great money, but it's a huge project to manage. But that produces a residual income. Well, imagine being able to have a similar result with something where you didn't have to manage it. In other words, you didn't have to stock it. You didn't have to stock the product. You didn't have to collect the money. You had access to the same number, the same possibility of that kind of number, that kind of leverage without having to buy every one of those machines. That's what network marketing provides. And so, you know, my story was I started playing around with network marketing back when I was in my early 20s. I picked up a book at a garage sale for a quarter called The 10 Napkin Presentations, which really was the first time I was introduced to the idea of recurring or passive or residual income. And even at a young age, I thought that sounded very exciting and very appealing. And so I started dabbling in it. And over the course of 10 years, 11 different network marketing companies, I never made a penny, but I was learning the business. I read books about it. I listened to audios. I went to seminars. And as Gayle mentioned, on my 11th year, 12th company, I finally figured out the system. And it really was not complicated. And what Gayle's put into the 90-day action plan has everything in it. And it's all very simple. It's not everything in there is something that you can do. I mean, there's nothing in there that you can't do. It's just the discipline of it. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I'll just share a quick story. Two stories. So I went into the Toyota dealership. I have one of the vehicles I have is a Toyota FJ, and it's a 2014. And last time I had it in was about a year ago. And after I had service done a year ago, I took a selfie with the guy, the service advisor, and I sent him a box of brownies with the selfie on the front and just really complimented him and told him how great he was as a service advisor. Well, a year later, which was about 2 weeks ago, I walked into the dealership, and his name's Ivan. I didn't remember him, but he came over to me and he said, he was all excited. He's like, "Jordan, nice to see you." And I'm like trying to remember the guy's name. And then I looked at his name badge. And I realized that because I sent him a box of brownies and a card a year prior, so then when I was going to pay, the bill was $900. And when I was going to pay, as he was putting it all together, he looks at me, he goes, "Jordan, you're so nice. I'm going to knock $300 off your bill." And that's just one example, and you've heard many of the kind of results that you can get by using SendOutCards. cards. And we have got hundreds and hundreds of stories like that. I know Gayle and Steve have made tens of thousands of dollars, possibly even hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions in real estate as a result of referrals they've received using SendOutCards. And I know my business, my SendOutCards business, is 100% by referral. We got 4,300 people in my contact manager today after 13 years, and they all get a few cards a year from me. And so when somebody's ready, I don't need to prospect anymore. I don't need to market anymore. They come to me. And the reason is because every day I'm looking for people that I can, bless with a card or some kind words. So the second story I want to mention is Donna from Fresno. Donna Blom lives in Fresno, California. A few of you have heard the story, not all of you, but Donna bought a Prius over a year ago from a dealership in Fresno, and she took a selfie with the salesman, put it on the front of a card, said some nice things in the card, and sent 2 brownies right after the test drive that she had with the Prius. And then right after that, she took a selfie with the sales manager and did the same thing, sent a card to the sales manager complimenting the salesman along with pack of brownies. He received that the day of their sales meeting, got about 25 salespeople, walks into the sales meeting and tells all the salespeople in there, I want all of you, every person that comes into this dealership, I want them to receive a card and a gift from us with a picture of them in front of the car that they were looking at or the car that they purchased. And so they started doing that. By their second month, they were spending over $3,000 a month. We get 20% of that, 20% every month, which is $600 a month. And that pays for Donna's Prius payment for the past year. So those are just a couple of quick stories. Now, when I was looking at the 90-day action plan, when I was actually, breaking it down, it's really just the simple things that we do. And that's really not those aren't the things that usually stop people. Because when you look at the list and you say, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I was looking at it, I can take a selfie with somebody and put it on the front of a card and send them a nice card. And I can go over the options. I can go to an event, all those kinds of things. I can do all those things, but it's usually the things that are somewhat hidden or invisible that keep us from following through on those commitments. So I'm going to talk about real quick, actually, I'm going to talk about 8 things. And these, I think, are the 8 things that will ultimately determine whether you make it in this plan. In other words, whether you succeed in creating something significant or something that's important to you. And I promise you that once you get into the rhythm of doing these things, if you haven't been doing them already, once you get into the rhythm of doing these things, you're going to get positive results, not just in terms of income, but positive results in terms of the feedback that you get from the people that you come in contact with on a day-to-day basis, the energy that you send out into the world, that comes back to you tenfold. But the first thing I'm going to talk about 8 things. I want to talk about the mental game. And just like in any business, I promise for those of you that are in real estate, you know that the people that make it big in real estate, they have to master the mental game, because there are many days where you don't want to do what it is you have to do to succeed. Isn't that right, Linda? Nod your head. Absolutely. Yeah, so it's a mental game. And I found that there are days that you're not going to want to do it. But if you can carve out just a little bit of time every day to follow the things on that 90-day action plan, whether you feel like it or not. In fact, I found that part of the success to being an entrepreneur is working based on what you're committed to, not based on how you're feeling. Most people make their choices and decisions to do things based on what they're feeling, not based on what they're committed to. And that's why they don't make it as an entrepreneur. And I know there's been many times that there are things that I've had on my schedule that I didn't feel like doing that day, but I did them because they were in my calendar. I know getting a helicopter license was something that I really, really, really wanted to do. I was really committed to doing it, but there were many days that I was going to be going into helicopter school to do things that were not real comfortable and way out of my comfort zone. And so I can tell you that if you can make a 90-day commitment and not do it based on what you're feeling, but do it based on what you're committed to, imagine what it would be like to have a residual income that came in whether you went to work or not. What kind of lifestyle or freedom could you create? What would happen if someday your residual income equaled your bills? So in other words, every month you had checks that came in that equaled your bills. If that were the case, what would your life be like? And if you like the idea of that, then make the commitment to follow through on the 90-day plan. The second thing I want to talk about is energy. I've seen groups of people where everybody had pretty much the same level of competency, but one or two of them made it and the other ones didn't. It doesn't just have to do with competency. In fact, when you look at the list on the 90-day action plan, most of the things on there, I would probably guess most of you are already competent on, and if you're not competent, within a matter of a few hours, you could be competent. I don't believe that usually that's the differentiator. The second thing I want to talk about is energy. I've seen people that just because they generate energy, we generate our own energy. You know, you can, and I know you've had to do this before. There's been situations where you've been thrust into the limelight. Maybe you're having a bad day and you've been asked to speak at a meeting and you have to generate the energy to get up and do that. There's times where, you know, I've got a conference call like this scheduled on my calendar, and I'm going to be speaking to a group of people, and, you know, maybe 2 hours earlier, something happened with a friend or with a family member that kind of took the energy away from me. Well, I have to generate energy. And so when you're doing your business, if you're consciously aware that people are attracted to positive energy, so when you step into it with positive energy, you're more likely to attract people. So when I'm presenting the business, every single time I present the business, I dig deep and I try and find the energy. I've gotten phone calls from people, and I know you have too, I'm sure you have, where you look at the phone, their name pops up on your phone, and you look at it and you don't even want to answer. And the reason you don't want to answer is because you know that they're going to be an energy sucker. They're going to suck your energy, right? And you don't want to deal with it that day. If you know people like that. Well, you want to be the person that other people want to pick up the phone. So generate positive energy when you're doing your business. The third thing is related to the second thing, and that's enthusiasm. You know, there's some people that and I know you wouldn't even be on this call if you weren't enthusiastic about this idea, whether it be SendOutCards or the opportunity to make some money. You wouldn't even be on this call, but you got to let other people know it. And it doesn't mean, I'm not talking about being somebody that you're not, because some people have a demeanor that's just a little bit more low key. There's some of you on this webinar, this Zoom conference with me, know me, and you know that when you're around me, my level of energy is probably on the lower end. I have to generate energy because that's just my nature. My nature is not so much outgoing. I mean, I love people and I love to socialize, but I'm not the outgoing type. So I have to generate my energy and I have to generate my enthusiasm. I love SendOutCards, and I talk about it like I love it. And I know you all love SendOutCards, so you want to talk about it like you love it. Like it's a good thing, because it is, and you know it is. But let people know that. The third thing I want to mention is the tools. A good percentage of the people you talk to, just by their nature, they're going to be skeptical. So you've got three different types of people. You have cynics, you have skeptics, and you have players. The players represent about 5% of the people you're going to meet with. And the players are the people that pull out their credit card and they're ready to sign up before you're even done. And they're about 5% of the people that you show it to. So here's a question. If you're on video right now, raise your hand if you were a player. In other words, you were one of those people that the moment you saw it, you knew you were going to do it. Raise your hand. Is there anybody? So, okay, there's 3 or 4 of you that now keep in mind, you're all already in the program, but it represents a small percentage. Then there's a percentage that represents probably about 20 to 30%, and that's the cynics. Cynics are people that their role in life is to take you down. And it's not you, it's everybody. They want to take everyone down. And they're going to talk, they're going to say things to take your dream away. They're going to try and discourage you. That's their job in life. That's what they were assigned to do. And I kind of look at it as a test of my conviction. So, but I'm going to tell you this. When I encounter a cynic, I need to say no to them first. So as soon as I sense cynicism, they're not recoverable. These people cannot be fixed. They're people that they're going to do everything within their power to take you down. So what you want to do is close the book on them. Tell them no first. It's not for you. Thank you for your time. If it's a family member, don't talk about your business. I learned this the hard way. My dad was a cynic, and I could not talk about my network marketing business around my dad because we would end up in a fight. But they will test you. The third group of people represents by far the largest group, and they are your best prospects, and that's the skeptics. Skeptics are good, and the reason skeptics are good is because when a skeptic sees it and comes around, they become the greatest advocates for our opportunity and for our company because they tell everyone I was skeptical. And then I saw something that I didn't see before, and now I get it. And they will become your greatest referral partners. They'll become your greatest distributors. But here, the reason I'm talking about tools, this is the fourth thing. The reason tools are so important is because the way you recover a skeptic, skeptics are recoverable. The way you recover a skeptic is you to offer proof. And proof has to be third party. It can't come from your mouth. So a card in the mail with a gift is a form of proof. It's third party. It's tools. Using the videos that are on the SendOutCards website under the Resource Center, that's third party. Having them watch a video. Inviting them to an event, that's third party. Copying a link from the Cool Buzz website. There's 500 conference calls on there, and copying a link and texting it to them and asking them to listen to the 30-minute call and giving you their feedback, that's third party. Showing them cards when you're meeting with them, pulling the cards out and letting them hold them in their hand and open up and look at a bunch of different cards. That's third party. It's coming from somebody else. It's not coming from you. It's not coming from your mouth. So tools are extremely important. You've got mental game, managing your mental game, managing your energy, managing your enthusiasm, your tools. We're using the tools and keeping in mind that most of the people, over half the people you meet with, are skeptical. And the way that you overcome a skeptic is to offer them proof. And they don't always sign up right away. Sometimes it takes anywhere from 2 weeks to even as long as a year. One of my strongest builders, Jackie Ulmer, she signed up 5 years after I sent her her first card. 5 years. And she's one of my strongest builders in my organization. Even Gayle and Steve, I mean, they used it for a long time, and then they really started building it more. They weren't skeptical, but they started building it much more actively later on after they had some great stories. So that's the fourth one. The fifth one, events. You can accomplish more in a one-day event than you can trying to train your people by yourself over the next 6 months. So you can go to events. In fact, we have half the room, when we do an event, half the room came from somewhere hours away, and many people fly in. But when you can get your people to come to an event, you can accomplish more in that 1 or 2 day event than you can in 6 months to a year of trying to do it on your own, just getting them there. So I leverage those events because it takes it from their head to their heart. And so that's why the convention is so important, and the promptings academies. We have one this weekend in Phoenix, and we've got people coming in from all over the country because they're serious about their business. You know, if you bought a Dairy Queen, $250,000 just to get the rights to offer Dairy Queen, then you got to hire teenagers. It's going to cost you over $1 million to set everything up. And there's no leverage. There's no residual income in that business. I don't get why people do it, but for $1 million and there's no residual income here, there's something that somebody could sign up for under $1,000 and they have the opportunity to create a residual. Well, you have to go, you're required to go to Dairy Queen's annual convention, and guess who pays for it? You do. And it's more expensive, way more expensive than going to our convention. Like our convention, it costs you $250. Their convention, it's ridiculous. And you have to go and you have to pay if you own a Dairy Queen. So the events represent leverage. It represents training. It represents education. It's so important. So that's the fifth one. The sixth one is your calendar. Your calendar. I live and die by my calendar. If you look at my calendar, I've got things scheduled on there. I don't just wing it. And so I'm up here in the mountains for a week and a half. And if you look at my schedule, you'll see that I've got 3-way calls scheduled. I've got presentations scheduled. I've got conferences like this scheduled. It's on my calendar. And so I have people that will be frustrated because their business isn't growing. And I ask them, I said, can I see your calendar? And I look at it and it's naked. There's nothing in it. And so that's the key, is to get the calendar, get people from your Rolodex or from your contact manager onto your calendar. The seventh one is dreams. I'm going to challenge you to stretch your dreams, to take on some things that you don't believe are possible. I love doing this every year. I write down 2 or 3 things that I don't believe are possible for me. I write them down, and then I take the first step and then the second step and the third step, and I follow the formula. And the part of the formula is don't quit until it's done. That's how I got my helicopter license at the age of 57 years old. At 57 years old, 57 years old. And when I went down there, they said, guys that are 57, they don't get their helicopter license. They told me this at the school. And I said, well, I want my helicopter license. It took me 2 years, but I wrote it down because I didn't believe it was possible. And many things, walking the red carpet at the Academy Awards. I got to do that. Only movie stars and producers walk the red. I'm not an actor. I don't have anything to do with Hollywood. And I walked the red carpet at the Academy Awards, Scarlett Johansson and Russell Brand and Wolfgang Puck and all these famous people and the gauntlet of photographers. It's almost impossible just to go to the Academy Awards. If you want to just go, forget about walking the red carpet. There's millions of people that want to go that can't get in. And I got to walk the red carpet. I'm not going to get into the story right now, but I wrote it down because I like writing down things that I believe are impossible. Things that are exciting and fun for myself and for others. You know, you can do that for other people too, and you can help them achieve their goals. So stretch your dreams a little bit. So the thing that I would recommend is between now, like right away, sometime in the next 24 hours, write down 3 things that you're going to do for yourself by meeting your goals of the 90-day challenge. So what are the 3 things you're going to do or accomplish in the next 90 days? Not just income-wise, but something that really gets you excited to get up every morning. So write down just 3 things. Maybe it's a reward for you and your family, something you're together, or a reward for you. Maybe it's something you've wanted to do all your life, but you've always said to yourself, you know what, I'm just too busy, or I don't have the money. So that's the 7th one. And then the 8th one, and I can't overemphasize this, if you put the 8th one and the first one together, the 8th one is your system, the system. And when you look at the 90-day action plan, everything on there is important. And when I say that, there's going to be a couple things on the 90-day action plan that you're not going to want to do. Most of it will be no big deal, but there'll be a couple of things on there that you're not going to want to do. And it's kind of like a phone number. It's kind of like dialing the 7 or the 10 digits in a phone number and expecting the call to go through, but you left 2 of the digits out. It's not going to go through. Everything on that sheet is important. So you want to follow the system. You want to acquire by following the system, and you set your own goals. You decide how fast or how slow you want to go. But then you've got to understand that it is a mental game, that 90% of it is mental, meaning that you've got to manage your energy, you've got to manage your emotions, you've got to manage your enthusiasm, and you have to be committed to getting it done. So there's a lot more I could talk about. I think if you follow the system, you'll find that you will be keeping it simple. At times you're going to want to go outside the parameters of that system that Gayle and Steve put together. You're going to want to go outside of it, but you don't need to do that. Keep it simple. Follow those steps, because when I look back on how I built my business, it's all there. You know, it's all I did was I walked people through sending a card where they sent the card to someone they cared about. I did that multiple times a day. I showed the video using a DVD, but today we show those videos online. I went over the plans and the packages. I followed up with people. I sent cards, followed up multiple times, because sometimes people don't sign up on the first exposure. They need to hear from you more than once. So all the things on there are important, and you want to follow every single one of those and earn your points. And then whenever you find yourself getting discouraged, which you will, in 90 days, I wouldn't be surprised if you got discouraged 20 or 30 times. And every 2 or 3 days, you may get discouraged. And if that happens, go back to your dreams. Look at those things that you want to accomplish in your life and ask yourself if you're committed to that. You know, there were times where I wanted to throw in the towel on getting my helicopter license, but then I thought, you know what? I want it. When Gayle and Steve come to Vegas, I want to be able to invite them in the helicopter and take a flight around town and show them the sights from up in the sky. I wanted to be able to do that. That felt good to me. And so I would go back to my dream, and then that would cause me to get in the car one more time and go down to the school. And I couldn't think of a good excuse to quit, because I'd already told thousands of people I was going to get my helicopter license. I told them all I was going to do it. What would I say to them? You know, anything I would say would sound lame. So I followed through on my commitment. I continued until the job was done. So I'm going to stop there and turn it back over to you, Gayle. And if you have any questions, or if anybody wants to say anything, we'll do that.
Well,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you so much for sharing those 8 points. And, you know, here's what's so cool about this. You know, Steve and I have been around for 10 years, and Jordan's his message has always been the same. Send a card, teach other people how to send a card, and show them the plans and packages. I mean, that's the simplicity of what we have. And so it looks, you know, the chart, and Elizabeth created a chart. I'm just going to share my screen for a second, and I'm going to show you. So this is the chart that she shared, and I can message this to all of you so that you have it, and because it'll total it for you. So what we're going to do is the simple steps. We're going to send a card every day. And I want to encourage you, because so many people say, well, I don't know who to send a card to. I had a guy today tell me, he says, so you're telling me that all you do is send cards and you've got 91 real estate referrals this year? And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you I've sent cards for 10 years and I pick people every day. And Steve and I have gotten top of mind with enough people. They know what we do. We don't have to continually remind them. So sending cards, there's 3 ways people are exposed and get send out cards. One is when they receive a card. So when you talk to people, when you ask them, because one of the steps is just ask the question, have you downloaded the SendOutCards app? And when they say, no, what is it? Then you share it with them. And I want to make sure you know how to share it with them, because you can, it's on your phone. And I wish I had one of those mirroring things where I could show you that, but we'll make sure there's tutorials on how you can share that. But I want you to think about that. That's the main focus right now. Simple, right? Make a list of who's made an impact in your life. And take each day and send them a card. Maybe it's a client, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's someone on this call in this group. But I want you to take, 5 or 10 minutes every day and learn your system to send a card. Because like Jordan said, it'll do more things. It'll expose people to your product. It's that third-party testimonial. It's the tool. But it also does something internally for you, because it makes you feel good that you've celebrated somebody else. So sending a card, posting it in the group, and you don't have to take a screenshot of the card necessarily, but I do want you to post in the group to get your point. Post in the group, I sent a card to Jordan because he inspired me. That's just an idea. So you don't have to show the card necessarily unless you want to, because that's also a way for us to teach people, maybe some things of what to say. how to say it, how to say thank you, how to say I appreciate you, how to say I'm grateful for you. Sometimes people struggle with that. So that's number one, is to send a heartfelt card every day. Number two is you get a point when you ask for each person, you text the message. So it could be through Messenger on Facebook. It could be through, you're going through your Rolodex. Make a list of people and just text them the question. I got this from Callie Teagarden. She's an executive with SendOutCards, well on her way to senior executive. And she's got a gal in her group. Her name is Kristen. Kristen met Callie in March. Kristen is like teens away from becoming an executive with our company. She knew nothing about network marketing. And I'm going to ask if she can be on a guest on our team calls, because I think that would be powerful for you to hear, because a lot of you that are on this call are new to SendOutCards. You're new to sharing SendOutCards with others. But this is what Callie said she does. They send a text message and it says, have you downloaded the SOC app? Well, they're going to respond either yes, no, or what is it, right? So that opens the conversation. So you could say, well, okay, I want you to watch a 6-minute video. And it's on the sheet, www.sockwowvideo.com takes you to the 6-minute video where you can have them watch that video. It goes over what is SendOutCard. It's the business presentation in 6 minutes. And I think it's very powerful. And that's how Kristen has grown from meeting Callie in March, knowing nothing about SendOutCards, to almost an executive in June, because she does simple things. She asks the questions, and then she offers the information, and then they show them how to set it up. And that's in our plans and packages. So I want you to focus on those 3 things: sending a card, texting somebody, sending them the video, and then that's where I come in. That's where you say, oh my gosh, I got somebody who's interested, and you don't know what to do. That's the time we get on a 3-way call, and you leverage your upline. You leverage Steve and Gayle to help you facilitate the conversation with the people who don't know, because you're going to learn that through those 3-way calls. I should give points for 3-way calls, but maybe we'll talk about that. Latika asked if we could have points for sending gifts, and just keep track. Maybe there'll be bonus points in the end. But then the rest of the points are for the results of the activity, right? You send a card, you text do you have the app, you share the 6-minute video. And then those who get signed up, whether they sign up as a customer or they purchase a bundle or they add the distributor option, that all comes from the conversation that we'll have afterwards. And so, and there's rank promotions. I know there's a lot of you who've been around SendOutCards for a little while, and you're going, what rank promotion? Well, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I want you to reach out to me to talk, personally about your rank promotions, because I want you to set a goal. I want you to want to become a manager, a senior manager, and work your way to executive, because, back when Steve and I have used SendOutCards for the last 10 years, we've created hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission income because of what SendOutCards has done and how it's helped us connect to people in our lives. So that, Steve he emails me this afternoon, oh, remember, this couple, well, they want to sell this summer. And we are not prospecting for our real estate business. It's 100% referral. 93 referrals have come into our lives this year. And it's becoming that way with SendOutCards. And you know why? It's because we send cards. And we teach other people how to send cards, and we show them the opportunity, and they make a decision to join because it's a really great idea. And so I want to open it up for, those of you who might have questions that maybe we can answer some of those questions.
Gayle, I just want to say you and Steve are such great examples of the way to use SendOutCards and the way to promote it. When you look into Gayle's, she showed me some of this. When you look into their contact manager and you'll pull up contacts in there that she's had in there for quite some time, you'll see over the course of 5 years, there'll be 15 cards that were sent to one person over the course of 5 years. Well, that's only 3 cards per year. But what she does is she pulls pictures off Facebook. People celebrate their lives on Facebook when there's a new baby, when they take their family to Disneyland, when they lose their grandma, when they get married. And she pulls those pictures off Facebook from on the app on her phone and puts it on a card and mails it to them with a nice personal message. And she does that a few times a year. So when they're ready to buy a home, who do they think of? Or when one of their children is ready to sell a home, who do they think of? They think of Gayle and Steve because they're the only ones that do that. And so they're a perfect example of the way to use SendOutCards to really enrich your own personal life and the lives of the people around you, the lives that you connect with on Facebook. If you don't have somebody's address, all you do is send them a little message, and the words are important. I'm updating my contact manager, and I need to have I'd like to get your mailing address. I'm updating my contact manager, and I'd love to get your mailing address. You have to put the word mailing address in there. So I just want to say this one thing. I have a name Maria that just signed up, and she was really frustrated because she wrote down what I asked her to text people to get addresses. And after a week, she was frustrated because no one was sending her their addresses. And I said, would you text me exactly what you're saying to them word for word? And she did, and changed the last words of that text. She said, I'm updating my contact manager and I need to get your information. So they weren't sending their address. You have to say, I would love to get your mailing address. And then and she did that, and she got 6 in one day. She got six addresses in one day. So anyway, I know, Gayle, you opened it up for questions, and I went on this little tirade here. But
that's okay. And that brings up another follow-up to that, Jordan, because I get, and many of you get friend requests on social media. So when someone sends you a friend request, I want you to not just accept every friend request you get. I want you to start to engage in the conversation. So when someone says, they send you a friend request and I accept them, I always say, thank you for connecting with me. What prompted you to reach out to me on Facebook? And I share these with Steve because, it's so fun. It's so fun. I'm going to see if I can find one really quick. This just happened like every day. Okay, so Lorraine, this was just yesterday. Hello, Lorraine. Thank you for connecting here on Facebook. What prompted you to reach out to me? Hi, Gayle. First, I'm sorry for your loss. See, people are watching you. I posted the loss of our sister-in-law, Debbie, and she acknowledged that. That meant something to me. She says, I have to go check, tagged you in my SendOutCards post. I was looking for a referral. And I said, a referral for SendOutCards or for real estate? Thank you for your condolences. She said, SendOutCards. I said, are you a SendOutCards user? No, not yet, looking into it. But you would like to be? It was my question. I'm a realtor, and yes, thinking about it and how to use it to market more. I'm sorry, I must have missed that post. And she says, well, we weren't friends, so you wouldn't have seen it until perhaps now. And then she says, Alejandro signed up under, this was the message. Alejandro, I signed up under Gayle Zientek. She's amazing and has provided me with ready-made campaigns and guidance. And then she says, I haven't looked at SendOutCards in probably 15 years or a very long time. And then we continued a little bit later in the conversation, but I mentioned to her, I says, she didn't know what the cost was, and we're continuing our conversation, but she's now interested because of, asking questions and kind of pulling it out. she's really interested in SendOutCards to use for her real estate business, but she's also interested in SendOutCards as a distributor so she can share it with others and make money. And I think Steve and I are coming to the realization this year that it's in the language. It's in our language. We used to say, and we still kind of do at times because it makes sense, SendOutCards is a great tool to build your business because it's great for connecting you with people and building the relationships. But now my language is changing to say, to include, not just that, but to include, hey, SendOutCards is a tremendous opportunity and you can share it with a few people and you can make money, and it's the real deal. And so people are wanting now to take a look at that. And so when they talk to people, it's like SendOutCards is a great opportunity. And all you have to do, is share the app with people, get people sending cards. There's lots of ways you can make money, but to keep it simple and let them know that not only is it a great tool for business, but it's a great avenue for residual income. And that's a big mindset right now. People are looking for multiple streams of income. I don't care who you talk to. There's even coaches in real estate they're getting together with credit repair companies, with SendOutCards, because they see the residual income opportunity that it has in being a tool to help in our industry, but also to build that residual. Any questions? I'm looking over here at the questions to see if there's anything thank Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you are our secretary. She's posting notes over there. So thank you very much for that. That's awesome.
Hey, can you hear me, Gayle?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question. The www.sockwowvideo.com, is there a way to track that as far as when we send it to someone?
No, it just goes to the Wistia site. It's not, you could create, I want to keep it simple so
okay.
Everybody can do it. You can create a URL and redirect it, but Callie actually created that URL and attached it to the SockWow video so that it just, it's easy to spell, it's easy to find, and I think it works.
Okay.
Gayle, can you share a little bit about how your relationships with people have changed over the 10 years of you using SendOutCards? And Jordan, if you want to kind of jump in with that too, because I think people they're not just cards.
No, and I was talking to somebody today about, the different types of, there's people who want different types of paper, or, they have certain ways. And for me, it's not about the paper. It's about the action itself. It's not necessarily, pushing campaigns, although they're valuable and quick and they go to work for you. And I use them. I have them in practice right now. But the individual cards, and maybe Helena, maybe you can answer this because you were on the receiving end of the campaign that I send out to all new distributors, but you were also received a card with pictures of your family. I'm going to unmute you because I want you to maybe speak to how those two different types of cards made you feel.
Okay. Well, first of all, I have to say I was extremely touched by it. When I opened up the boxes of the brownies, I'm like, oh my gosh, I see what she means, right? So I loved it. But the part that really touched my entire family, including my grown kids, my daughter especially, when she saw all of that, she goes, this is really amazing. And like Jordan said, touch the card. It was like, this is really good. So I'm kind of proud to be part of this program and be able to do the same thing like you've been explaining. That was sent to me. I had a great feeling, and I'm pretty sure people feel the same way. I just felt I just felt like, okay, for once I'm like, wait, that's weird. Why would she look at my pictures, right? You know what I mean? But I remember we became friends, and I'm like, I wonder. No, all that goes through your head. But I saw that it was very, very nice. I mean, I really, really felt, I was like, oh my gosh, she even picked a nice one of me. I was like, I didn't feel so bad. But it was pretty funny because I even said, look, she even found it. Because my husband does not have Facebook. He's an executive. So he does not want anything to do with Facebook. And so he, when I showed it, it's really nice. So for me to do the same thing to people that I have in mind. So of course, I'm like brainwashing my own brain and think, okay, who would take advantage of this? Who do I send it to? Who I do this? Now I'm thinking, like Jordan was explaining, it is a good opportunity. I really like it. And I love the fact that you indeed, and when I got this, I didn't have in mind of any residuals. I had no idea, to be honest. But I know you're a smart woman. I told you this from when I became friends with you a while back. I know that you're smart and you have snow, so you have to deal with that long winter. You've got to come up with other actions of ideas of making extra money when you're not able to sell a house when it's full of snow. You know what I'm talking about, correct? And so I felt like, perfect. This is exactly what I want to do. And then I want to share other things with you on when we're alone talking. But I will, again, like I said, I'm so excited to start this. It's exciting, it's scary at the same time. And while I'm talking to you, would you kindly, before we hang up, can you guys go over the 8 items that Mr. Jordan gave us? Yeah. Because I don't think I wrote them all. I was so excited listening to them that I didn't even take all of them down. I only started at number 4, believe it or not. I got all of those, but 1, 2, and 3 I didn't get. I thank you.
Helena, they're in the chat.
They're in the chat.
You would think I know what that means.
If you
look
at the little chat bubble, you'll see notes, and this is being recorded, so you'll be able to go back and look at the chat notes. But number 1 is your mental game. Number 2 is your.
Can I say something? Oh, sorry.
Number 3 is your enthusiasm, and then tools, events.
Yeah, I got those.
You got those. So
what was number 2 again? I'm sorry.
Was your energy. Getting
energy. Gotcha. Yeah. Yes.
Gayle.
Yep, I got it.
I just learned.
Thanks,
something.
Jordan. You were good ass. Thank you so much. I know I appreciate your time, and I can see why you're such an asset for this, and being successful at it. I mean, it's priceless to me. This information that you shared. Thank you.
I learned something from you, Helena, tonight that I'm going to use if it's all right.
What?
This is so cool. I never thought about this before. But now that we have the ability to do Zoom conferences like this, you can sign people up online. You can send cards through the computer and through your phone. You truly can. This is really a home-based business. I mean, you can build the business from your phone and your computer without ever leaving your home if you choose. Right. If you're socked in the winter and you've got high-speed internet, you can actually sign people up, make money. Your checks are deposited electronically. You can even access. So you can do everything. You can,
yes.
It's
I agree 100%. But like I said, because I remember, like I told you, the conversation that I remember when I don't know how she got into my feed. I'm in Hawaii, California, with nice sun. I mean, and I remember this. I just remember this realtor. She always had positive stuff, and because she was not in my area, intrigued me even more. And of course, then I'm like, oh my God, how do these people, poor things, they have snow for so many months out of the year, and you can tell they're doing well. So that alone was like, yes. So that was the pretty. Yeah.
I love it.
Gayle, everybody always talks about all the brownies and all that, but I have my little golden egg right here that you sent me, and I love that, and it's hanging in my office, and people ask me about it all the time, and I am going to leverage this into more SendOutCards business because this is really cool. I love this. I love this.
And
what is it? Is it chocolate?
No, it's the golden.
No, it's like a wrap.
It's one of the gifts in the gifting, and that's powerful, Kathy, because here's the power of gifts. Because when you and I met face to face at the Club Wealth deal last, whenever it was,
March.
You gave me a keychain that said "Believe," and that hangs up on my key ring. And that who does that remind me of? It reminds me of you and the relationships that we're forming. And you know, I didn't know you until you just shared that. I didn't know that that was something that was special that you have the opportunity to talk about with people. But see, and that's a key, because as we send out gifts and we send out cards, you're not going to hear from everybody that you send cards and gifts to. It's just not going to happen. But maybe 3 months down the road, they're going to dangle it up in front of a Zoom webinar, and they're going to say, I'm going to leverage this to talk about the value of connections in life, because that's really what it is. It's the value of connections we make in life. And like Jordan says, he sends cards to, how many people are in your database, Jordan, that you send cards to every year?
4,300 that get at least 2 cards a year from me.
And so
that's a lot of cards, I agree.
But and you don't expect anything in return. And that's the whole premise of this 90-day challenge. Mm-hmm. It's to get us in the habit of sending out cards without expecting anything in return. And I'm going to tell you that you're going to get so much in return, but it'll come in ways that you don't expect. And, you know, Steve and I could go on with stories after stories after stories. This referral he got today, I have to tell you, it's not because I've sent them send-out cards over the past 7 years. Because I haven't. They kind of went off the radar. But they told Steve, they messaged Steve today and said, hey, we're getting our house ready. We'd like to list it this summer. And they remembered us because we also have a social media presence, which is where that relationship started.
Password Buckeyes.
Buckeyes stay together. But you know, this is about life. This is about you. And I want to challenge you all, what Jordan said, to take the next 24 hours. And this is, you get bonus points. I'm going to give you all bonus points if you post in the group 3 things that you want to accomplish in the next 90 days. Right, or write down your 3 goals. Like, write down 3 goals that you want to maybe accomplish this year, or something that might be like out of reach that you were afraid to write down. I want you to write that down. You don't have to share it if you don't want to, but I would love this to be a part of the interaction, because this is going to help us grow and move on and you know, inspire us to keep sharing.
Maybe you're talking about just the. You go ahead. I was going to say, are you talking about just for business or personal as well?
The 3 things that are important to you right now can be business or personal.
Okay. You just send them to you on a card.
You could.
That's cute.
All right, 4 new messages.
Have you all figured out that I'm married to pretty much a rock star?
Yes, I could see that. Mm-hmm.
So,
and you have a smile on your face. That's good news too.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Very good. I'm excited. So for me, my birthday is on Saturday. I'm going to be a big girl starting Saturday.
Well, I'm updating my contact list. So can I have your physical address, please?
Me, myself? Oh, you good.
Kathy, that was good.
That is really good. I will give it to you. But I'll tell you this, though. Honestly, I am going to take care of my own health, and I'm going to work less and be smarter at what I do. I'm not kidding. I'm tired of being my own slave. See?
Easy enough. That's easy enough to do in our business, though, as agents.
Yeah, I know, but I also have a husband with a paycheck, so that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. That's I have a sugar mama.
Yeah. That's right. So if you want my address to all of you, you know, do you want it? I mean, do you want it really, or you're kidding? Really? Well, 268.
I was going to say, put it in the 90-day challenge.
Okay.
All right.
I will do that. So look,
do that.
You know, one thing I want to say, one thing today in our BNI meeting, we talked about reciprocity. Do you know what reciprocity is?
Well, I would have to ask you to. You want me to? Am I on the spelling bee?
Reciprocity is giving without expecting anything in return.
Oh.
So you're gonna receive back. If you give out and you continue to give out, you're gonna receive back to you 100-fold of what you're giving out. So and that's reciprocity. You continue to give without expecting in return. That's what SendOutCards is. You're gonna go out and you're gonna make people feel good. You're gonna stay in contact with people, and you're gonna receive that back to you. So that's, I mean, just think about that. If you givers gain, if you give, you're gonna gain. And that's really what's happened in our real estate business. Every day, it's like, Gayle, you got to read this message I got today. You get, you know, I mean, she talks about 91 referrals. Well, we got 2 more referrals today. So it's just, I mean, it's.
God bless you for that. God bless you.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly right. God is blessing us. We are blessed, a blessed couple. We're, you know, we're favored. So, and I like that. So, but it, you know, with that though comes great expectations from us, you know, to be able to do our job. And so that's like, if you get an opportunity in Gayle's teaching, even I listen to Gayle when she's teaching about SendOutCards.
Right. What I like, can I give you my opinion about, I know she's your wife and all, you know, but I don't know if she knows this, you don't know, but I'm very direct. And I usually tell you the way it is. Yes. And so we don't sugarcoat anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
But here's what I want you to know that came across from me. Okay. I'm speaking with her that night here in my office. And she didn't see me. I only saw her in that computer. This woman is made of patience. So to me alone, I know, okay, fine, she's going to end up getting a commission out of my cards. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is she never made me feel, gosh, Helene, they were pain in the ass. You know, she just the questions I asked, she answered. I felt good about my decision. She can tell you, it took me almost 2 weeks to make that decision, right? Jordan was right. I was one of those like, nah, I don't know about that. You know, but I'm going to give it a shot. I am going to continue. I'm going to give it a shot. I have all kinds of ideas, and I'm going to drop a few other things that I don't need in my business, who's taking my money, and it's not working out. Do you understand? And I truly believe, because this made me feel fantastic, made me feel important for some reason. Like, oh my gosh, she actually took the time to send this to me. And by the way, I had to taste. Those brownies are delicious. You want to know something? They spent a whole day and night in my mailbox because, you know, I was so darn busy over the weekend, I didn't even get a chance. And then when I open it up, I'm like, with this heat, and it's still fantastic. All right, now you have it.
They were heated up for you.
Yeah, they're warmed up.
Right? That's right. They were very good. So in other words, I'm glad she did that, because now I feel totally confident on the product that I'm going to send to people. Do you follow what I mean? I don't have that doubt. Oh my gosh, what if? Because, you know, you don't want to send something that looks cheesy and embarrassing, you know. You want to be proud of what you're going to send out.
Right.
So now you have it. Thank you very much for your attention on this. But she is a fantastic woman. I don't know if she's like that with everyone, but to me, she was extremely patient, and I appreciate it.
You're
right. Put up with me for 39 years.
Holy moly. Jeez Louise. I've been with my husband 34, and I thought I was a queen. Imagine. Boy. All right.
Well, I think that this has been a really fantastic session. I am so thrilled, Jordan, that you took time out of your extremely busy schedule to be.
All right, Jordan, we need your address so we can send you a thank you card.
We'll post that in the group too, because like I say, hey, that's worth a point, right? Let's get this challenge started. Let's all work together. Let's have fun with it. I wrote this down this afternoon when I was thinking, because I was nervous about, you know, I haven't done this kind of thing before, but this is what I wrote down. This is my note to myself.
Aw, so sweet.
And that's what I want. I just want us to have fun. This is fun business. Nobody, you know what? You're not going to get knocked down, drug out, punched in the nose for being nice to people. It's not going to happen. And so let them experience receiving cards from you. Share with them what you have, and let's have fun doing this challenge. All right?
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Gayle. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Linda. Good night.
Thank you for taking the time. Thank you. Thank you.